Hello, welcome to 13 News at noon. We're here with meteorologist Lindsay Monroe. I'm Felicia Lawrence. We're happy you're here, and it is another fall, beautiful, bright, sunny day.
It is, and I was just looking at some of the data from so far this month of October, and every day has been at or above average when it comes to our high temperature, which you're probably like, yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, been a bit warm.
It has been. But we are watching a pretty potent cold front that's going to come in this weekend, and that's going to be the game changer, bringing in some much needed rainfall as well as an eventual cool down, but it doesn't look like that's really going to happen until perhaps this upcoming Sunday. So in the meantime, we've been keeping our eye to the west as we've got this weak boundary that's starting to push some cloud cover into the far western tier of the state. There's even a little bit of rainfall associated with this, but it's running into a pocket of some very dry air, basically blocking it from moving into central Indiana. So we're going to keep most of the rain chances at bay to our west. There might be a stray sprinkle in northwestern Indiana, but you'll notice as this continues to progress eastward, it's just kind of falling apart. So for us, we're going to keep the sky mostly clear, perhaps a few more clouds over on the western side of the state as temperatures continue to warm back to 68 in Indy now. We've got 70 over in Greencastle. Next several hours going to continue that warming trend. We're back to 77 for a high today, about 10 degrees above average for this time of year. And eventually looking at temperatures cooling off by midweek just a little bit. So here's how today is going to play out between now and your evening rush home at 5 p.m. That warming trend continues, and then skies clear right back out this evening and overnight as we fall back through the 50s. We're going to talk more about this incoming front for Wednesday, a more potent cold front on Saturday, and of course those rain chances as we head into the weekend.
After 2 harrowing years in darkness and captivity, 20 courageous hostages are returning to the glorious embrace of their families, and it is glorious. 28 more precious loved ones are coming home at last to rest in this sacred soil for all of time.
After more than 700 days, all 20 living Israeli hostages held by Hamas are now back in Israel, safe with their families. The first phase of President Trump's peace plan is underway. Cheers filling the so-called hostage square amid news the hostages had crossed out of Gaza. Meanwhile, the world awaits to see if this fragile ceasefire will hold. NBC's Alice Barr has details from Washington.
This morning, the first images of Israeli hostages held for 2 years in darkness and deprivation in Gaza, finally back in the light, transferred by the Red Cross to be reunited with their waiting families. In Tel Aviv's Hostage Square, Israelis cheering the moment they have prayed and protested for and chanting, "Thank you, Trump," as President Trump addressed the Knesset, Israel's legislature, celebrating the peace deal he brokered.
Generations from now, this will be remembered as the moment that everything began to change.
He earlier declared the war is over, in contrast to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warning the military campaign is not over. Israel and Hamas have so far agreed to phase 1, the exchange of hostages for Palestinian prisoners while the fighting pauses. Israeli forces pull back to new lines within Gaza, and desperately needed aid flows in. But thornier questions remain about Hamas disarming and leaving power, and how to govern and rebuild Gaza as Palestinians flood back to whatever remains of their homes. For now, though, an emotional release and rejoicing. This hostage family seeing their loved one first by phone as President Trump met with some hostage families before a peace ceremony in Egypt, marking a major diplomatic achievement and long-sought relief after 2 years of devastating war. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And some 200 heads of state are set to join today's peace summit in Egypt, including Arab leaders critical to the negotiations and to helping rebuild. President Trump again promoting his proposal for an international board of peace, and that would oversee reconstruction in Gaza. Also this afternoon, IMPD is investigating a crash on the city's near south side that left a pedestrian in critical condition. This happened at the intersection of East Raymond and Shelby Streets. So here's a look at how active that scene was earlier this morning. The crash was reported around 5:45. IMPD says officers located the pedestrian believed to be a male who was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Police say someone driving a pickup truck believed to be involved in this crash originally left the scene, but later returned and is now cooperating with the investigation. Multiple homes in a Canby neighborhood are damaged after what investigators are calling a suspicious fire. We want to show you video right now of that blaze. That's what was seen. That flash there, a big bang. And that was right when the fire started around 4 yesterday morning. Investigators are saying that this fire quickly spread to the other homes nearby. 2 of the homes had heavy damage and 2 homes have what investigators call moderate damage. Now some of these families are trying to figure out what to do after they say they lost everything. Madison Township Fire Department is crediting fire safety to the reason nobody died.
Yeah, this is a heavily populated area. It's absolutely incredible that nobody was injured. Thankfully, through working smoke detectors, everybody was able to be alerted before we were even arrived and out of the house safely.
Yeah, so
Right now, investigators are trying to figure out what happened, so they're asking people in that area to check your doorbell cameras, specifically around 4 a.m., that 4 a.m. time, so you can see if you captured anything on your camera that might help them. And new information today about 2 shootings this weekend in Indianapolis on opposite sides of the city, one of them deadly. So here's a scene on Dixon Road near Arlington Avenue around 5:30 last night. Police found a man shot at a house. He later died at the hospital. Police tell us they did detain someone, but their involvement is unclear at this time. Police also found a gun at the scene and believe this all started as an argument between people who knew each other.
Devastating. Devastating that we have to see that happen. Devastating that we talk time and time again about conflict resolution. Here, somebody has made a permanent decision over a temporary emotion, and I'll tell you again, this is simply not worth it. We cannot pull the trigger on our neighbors.
So police are also asking anyone with information to reach out to IMPD or Crime Stoppers. And Metro Police are investigating another shooting on the near west side. IMPD says someone was in critical condition after being shot near 14th and Tibbs around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So we're working to learn more details about what led to this gunfire and how the victim is doing now. We'll share any updates we get on air and online. Former NFL quarterback and Fox Sports analyst Mark Sanchez is now out of the hospital. And then he was booked, processed, and released on bail this weekend. Sanchez was arrested for his alleged role in a fight more than a week ago with a 69-year-old delivery driver. He's charged with battery resulting in serious bodily injury. A judge's order said Sanchez had to be booked and fingerprinted before he could leave the state. Now, the actual incident happened last weekend downtown. Court documents say Sanchez started arguing with 69-year-old Perry Toll about where Toll's truck was parked. That altercation turned violent, and prosecutors say the victim stabbed Sanchez in self-defense. So we do want to warn you, the pictures we're about to show you are graphic. Toll was taken to the hospital and had deep cuts along his face. We're told he's now recovering. He's also filed a lawsuit against Sanchez and the Fox Corporation. And the next court date for Sanchez is November 5th for a pre-trial conference. Vice President J.D. Vance warns of deeper cuts ahead for federal workers as the shutdown enters day 12. In a court filing Friday, the White House said over 4,000 employees would soon be fired. The Smithsonian is the latest tourist attraction to be impacted by the shutdown. As of yesterday, it is temporarily closing its 19 museums, research centers, and the National Zoo. The zoo says animals will still be fed and cared for. Military members will get paychecks this week despite the shutdown. President Trump announced Saturday he's directing the Defense Department to pay members on the 15th. That money appears to be coming from research and development funds. And several votes in the Senate to pass a short-term funding bill have failed. The House has been in recess for a week. It is back in session today. And the Indiana Supreme Court is dismissing the latest disciplinary case against Attorney General Todd Rokita. That's according to our partners at the Capitol Chronicle. 2 years ago, the court reprimanded Rokita for comments about an Indianapolis physician who performed an abortion on a 10-year-old rape victim. At the time, Rokita admitted to violating professional conduct rules. He also agreed not to contest the charges. But the issue came back up when Rokita gave interviews suggesting that he did not do anything wrong. Late last week, the court closed the matter after Rokita and state disciplinary officials agreed Rokita, quote, really meant it in accepting responsibility for professional misconduct.